Hello, I'm Mr. Shovelware, and I hate games like this that come from bad game companies who don't know what games are. Imagine how many kids cried because of these games on Christmas! I know you're saying, the episodes are late, you haven't made an episode in a while. Just chill. I'm working on a season finale right now, but it's going to take a little bit more time. It's a big episode though, I promise you that. So in the meantime, I thought I'd deliver this episode. Controllers make the game, you know? How can you play a game without a controller? So, I'm going to show you what companies do right on controllers, and what companies mess up terribly and ruin the entire gaming experience. So, let's dig into these turds, I guess, and well, see how bad they are, or good. God, now this controller wouldn't be bad if I knew how to hold it. It's just awkward. It juts out, and then there's these sides which you put your fingers in, but then it's just your fingers to like bend to press control sticks. These control sticks aren't good. It's not like the GameCube, which has that precision, so you're gonna often overshoot things in games. Why can't the control stick be up here, like the Xbox 360 or in the GameCube controller? That'd be nice, huh? You know, Sony tries to be different, but they fail miserably and it sucks. Companies really should take notes on the GameCube controller. This is a perfect example of how to do a controller. I mean, you see these little, like, Y and X buttons? That's so your thumb can hit the side, the top, or the side. It's perfect. And then the B button is nice. And also, you know, they give you a room to put your fingers for the triggers. Like the Xbox 360, where are you supposed to put your fingers? Like in between? It's just awkward. The only problem is it only has one Z button. Really? It couldn't have two? Was that, like, too expensive? You know, most games didn't come to the GameCube. I'm guessing because they couldn't utilize a second Z button. But other than that, this is a perfect controller. It melts in your hands. Buy it today. Then Nintendo followed it up with this piece of turd. You know, first of all, what is this? It's a remote? It just blows my mind how they thought this was a good idea. It doesn't even have a control stick. You have to buy nunchucks separately, which is... Why can't it just have a control stick? I mean, that'd look like the Atari 5200 controller. But this controller just ruined the Wii for me, because you have to go, ooh, you do all these motions. You have to do it, ooh, 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 ooh. The Wii sucks! I'm gonna do a motion for the Wii. The Xbox controller certainly isn't a bad controller. I like it. There's only one problem. Your finger gets jammed in this. You're like playing... Ah, frick! Oh, God! It hurts. Like you're just playing your game, you're driving around town, and all of a sudden... Ah! And also, there's too many buttons on these controllers. Look at this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Jeez. Was that necessary? Because they couldn't just... What's the point of these little black and white buttons? Did any game actually utilize these? Well, to finish off the 6th generation, it's not like fair to the Dreamcast. This controller is okay. It's just kind of weird. Like, I don't know... Like, it's just... I feel like I'm holding, like, a brick or something, you know? And why does the wire come from the bottom? That's so stupid. What an oversight error. And I think this controller would be better, honestly, if it had another control stick down here. But it's just, that hinders the game experience for me, because lots of games, you know, they couldn't use a camera. They had to use the R and L buttons, which means instead of a designated camera control, the R and L buttons had to be the camera, which means you couldn't really use the R and L buttons for much. But otherwise, it's pretty decent, I guess. The D-pad's kind of, like, sharp. You could probably sharpen a pencil on this thing. And the buttons are kind of weird. And the control stick's a little slippery. It's not a bad controller by any means. You know, it has these things. It's tolerable. Time to talk about an overrated controller, in my opinion. First of all, let's talk about the Genesis controller like this. Because, look, the wire is so short. What the frick? And, you know, it's like... But, whatever. You know, the main problem with this controller is, like, the freaking... How do you slide your fingers across this? You have to do like a crab. If you want to press the start button, like in some Mortal Kombat games, you have to go like... And the D-pad's just kind of weird. It doesn't hold comfortably evil. I think this controller is overrated. Frick it. Miles better, though, than the AtGames Sega Genesis controller. Remember that? This thing from that episode? The infrared, you have to go... If you don't point away from the TV screen, you're fricked. Because then you miss for 1 second, Sonic dies. Or whatever game you're playing, Virtua Fighter, whatever. But the whole AtGames Sega Genesis thing just makes me want to hurl into a bucket, so let's not even talk about that. The Wii U. The Pro Controller is pretty nice, except I have one major complaint. Why aren't these trigger buttons? It feels so awkward to press. It feels cheap, honestly. Other than that, this is a solid controller. It's kind of weird how this is up here. I feel like they just put this up here just to be different, but whatever. I mean, who cares? Really? And the Wii U controller wasn't bad by any means. It's pretty nice, actually. It holds comfortably. Again, no triggers, which really irritates me, because lots of games can't come to this console now because of that. But I'm sure people don't want to port it to the console anyway. But, yeah, not bad. It has an NFC reader for amiibos. Freaking amiibos. And, yeah. It looks like a giant TV remote, though. You just press the TV button, you choose your channels or whatever. They should make a Wii sports game called Wii Frisbee with a Wii U gamepad, where you just go... Now, this is a nice controller. It fits right into your hands. It's so nice. It's too bad I messed up the D-pad. The D-pad sucks. It feels like sticking your fingers in honey. It's, like, so sticky. Good thing they got rid of the black and white buttons. What was the point of that? Like, what? But anyway, you know, everyone hates how it uses AA batteries. Who cares? It's a good controller. Buy it today. Is this even classified as a game controller? Well, if it does, this is the shovelware of video game controllers. This thing has no wires. It's a piece of freaking plastic, and it's worthless, and I'm going to burn it, and I think it's worthless, and I'm going to burn it, and, you know, it does nothing. You just take the Wiimote itself, do this. What was the point of this? To sell people plastic? I could have made this in my basement. I could have made this in my garage. I could have made it, you know, with, like, scissors and glue and paper. This thing, and the B-button rattles. What the frick? Don't buy that. Let's go out with a bang. This controller, it's okay. I mean, I hate controller-specific games, but, you know. But then this thing happens. This thing right here, it has to get scrunched in there so it eventually breaks. And the wire actually rips. So I'm fricked, and I just have a piece of plastic. Well, you know what? This thing sucks. Well, I hope you enjoyed our discussion on game controllers today. Sorry if this was a shorter episode, but I hope you enjoyed it nevertheless. So, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you later. Hello, I'm Mr. Shovelware, and I hate games like this that come from bad game companies who don't know what good games are, but they're just trying to make money off the 100 million people who bought the Nintendo Wii. They know 100 million people bought this thing, so they're just trying to make money off of them, hoping someone will buy these games. Imagine how many kids cry because these games on Christmas or Hanukkah.